Hey guys, how's it going? As part of BlackDrop, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running out a series of little short videos to kind of show you some of the tricks and the tools and the technology that we use in the advertising industry. It's going to be great, and we're going to kind of go and explore some programs like Photoshop and Premiere, and also kind of get out and actually start showing you how to assemble photography and videography and a whole heap of great things. So today, I'm really excited to be able to start our Photoshop series for beginners. So if you have just downloaded Photoshop off Adobe Creative Cloud, you've installed it, and you're kind of confused as to where to start, this video series is for you. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting from the basics, so looking at the tools, what some of the tools do, how to navigate around the platform, but also we're going to get into actually starting to build some products like a web wireframe. And we're going to start to explore how to assemble these things together in Photoshop, and this becomes the basis of how we start to develop a website. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's get started and start to have a look at the technology. Okay guys, here we are inside Photoshop. What you can see here is in the middle of my screen I've got some previous documents that I've been working on, and on the left hand side of the screen you'll see two buttons, one which says Create New and the other which says Open. So to get started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a photo that I've previously taken of Auckland City. And I'm just going to use this to show you some of the panels and the tools and how some of those work. So I'm going to go Open, I'm going to go Open the photo and hit Open again. Okay, so here we are, the photo's now open. What I'm going to do, just so everybody can be working on the same setup, is I'm going to go up to my window menu. I'm going to go down to Workspace, make sure Essentials is ticked, which is the default option, and I'm going to press Reset Essentials. So that will reset everybody's screen so everybody's working on the same panel structure. One of the things that you're going to notice right from the word go is that we've probably got a lot of stuff that isn't relevant or isn't necessary right from the word go. So let's jump in and actually start to close some panels. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to the right hand side of my screen where this Learn area is. You'll see a little hamburger menu near the top right of that panel. If I click it, it's going to give me the option to close the tab group. So I'm also going to close the libraries in the same way, just by clicking the hamburger menu and closing the tab group. And now we've got our screen nice and tidy to start working. Now there is one set of tools that we actually need to access for a later stage, and that's the character panel. So to access that, I'm going to go to the window menu, I'm going to go and select character, and you'll see over the side here it's added two additional panels. One which deals with the character area and one which deals with paragraph styles. So we'll talk about more on character and text later, but for the time being you should have your windows set up and it should look something like mine. So let me just explain what we're seeing here. So in the middle of my screen at the moment, my document window, we have my photograph, and if I zoom that out slightly you'll be able to see the document window is represented by the dark grey area, and the photo is inside something called my artboard. So the artboard is where you place your files and your content and you create your compositions. To the right are a series of panels. So at the moment we've got my color panel and my swatches panel up the top here. By selecting color swatches, you'll notice it will change the active color in my swatches on the left hand side of the screen. That way if I start using a brush or a shape, it's going to have the color that I've just selected. Down the bottom you've got properties and adjustments. This allows you to apply specific effects to layers, and then underneath that is your layers panel. Now layers is critically important to Photoshop in the way that photos are built up off different parts. We'll talk about layers a little bit more in a moment. On the left hand side of the screen you have your tool panel. And so the tool panel are the different tools that allow you to manipulate photos and layers inside Photoshop. What you'll also notice is that many tools have a little arrow that sits right on the right hand side of the tool. So if you click and hold that arrow, a flyout menu comes across and it reveals more tools available. For instance, if I go down to my shape tool here with the square and I click and hold it, you'll notice I can change to my rounded rectangle tool, my ellipse tool, or a line tool. So one thing to note is tools, there are multiple options and multiple variations of tools which can be accessed by the flyover menu by clicking and holding on a tool. So one of the things you guys will have noticed is up the top, the horizontal options bar, the options changed to me when I actually selected the shape tool. So if I change to the text tool, you'll see that horizontal options bar changes to now give me the ability to change font and font size. It also allows me to change the crispness or the boldness of the font and alignment options. So as you can see, every tool has its own options available to it that allow you to kind of make manipulations and changes specific to that tool. Now, there's one other thing that I want to show you guys before we wrap up this video, and that's how to kind of move and navigate around the screen. So to do that, what you've got is you've got this tool down here which is represented by a magnifying glass. And you'll notice if I click that tool, it will zoom the canvas in, or the artboard in, and show me a larger version of what I'm looking at. Likewise, if I want to zoom out, I can go up to my horizontal options menu, click the zoom out icon, and the more I click, the more it will zoom that file out. Now, there's a really easy shortcut key to do this if you don't want to keep having to go up and click the icons in the horizontal options menu. What you can do is, if you're on a Mac, you can hold down the options key. If you're on a PC, it's the alt key. And every time you press and hold that, it will invert or reverse the zoom option. And so if I'm holding this now, it will zoom in, and when I release the key, it will zoom out. Now, the other thing which you'll find really useful is sometimes you want to move a canvas or move an image around. And so to do that, you can press spacebar at any time and click and hold the mouse and move the canvas around the screen. So this makes it very useful, especially if you're working on a smaller screen or a laptop and you're trying to work with a large file.